Hello guys, welcome to next lesson CCNA 200 to up to 301 paper. Today our discussion will be starting on Ethernet channel, then HSRP. Let's start from Ethernet channel. The concept of Ethernet channel, installation of the Ethernet channel. Actually, the Ethernet channel will be used to increase the bandwidth of the link between two switch or two networks. And also it will be using for the for to avoid for using the STP. It means for redundancy. We can use the Ethernet channel as well. So let me explain to you here. Assume that we have one switch here, one switch here. So we have one link connection. So this link connection we add one backup link connection. So both of these link will be calculated as a one link. This is called what? Ethernet channel. So multiple physical link, considering that in one virtual link, that's called it Ethernet channel. In Ethernet channel, the most benefit is that if one link will be down, it's not changing anything in a network that they can using from another side of network, another link. So it has some, and also it will increase the transferring bandwidths. Example, if the speed of one link will be 100 MB per second, total 6 or 8 link will become. Assume if our per link speed will be 100 MB and we have six link Ethernet channel, total becomes 60, the speed of our transferring data. Uh, Ethernet channel as a Cisco development is a bundle up to 8 equal links between two switch. Up to 8 equal links. We cannot use, it means 9 link at the same time. For connection days, up to 8 link we can use it. So benefit of Ethernet channel. When you configure an Ethernet channel in a switch, that interface will be called as a port channel. Many physical interface that's bundling together, that's calling the port channel interface. One of the benefit is when you configuring one thing in a per, you don't require to configure one thing in a per port. When you configure in a virtual port, it will affect all the physical port that's connected to that port channel. As I told you, it's used for increasing the bandwidth, no hardware upgrading requiring, it's using for load balancing between the links. When you're using Ethernet channel, don't require to use STP because Ethernet channel create aggregation that STP recognize one logical link. Some limitation have Ethernet channel. The most limitation will have the switch which have the 2960 catalyst. So the limitation, first limitation is it that you cannot use complex or mix fast Ethernet with the Giga Ethernet at the same time. Example, if you have here, if one port be fast Ethernet, another port, this link this link will be Giga Ethernet. This Ethernet channel will not work. And the second is to we can use up to 8 Ethernet channel at the same time, 8 link. I mean, so Cisco IS currently support up to 6 Ethernet channel. I mean, in one switch, in one connection, example this switch and this switch, we can use up to 6 Ethernet channel. This one Ethernet channel, assume that this is another Ethernet channel. 1, 2. This become another Ethernet channel, and up to 6 Ethernet channel we can use it. Not more than 6 Ethernet channel. Okay, some Ethernet channels support the switch to increase the bandwidth. Yes, so to send the traffic between server. It means if you have server, you can use Ethernet channel to increase the bandwidth. So Ethernet channel can be configured under both switch, and also all port of Ethernet channel must be layer 2 or layer 3. Example, layer 2, one switch be layer 2 port, one switch be layer 3 port, it will not work. It should be the same port. For Ethernet configuration, we can configure Ethernet channel as a static or unconditional, and also we have two protocol for using to configure Ethernet channel. One is port aggregation protocol, which is the Cisco priority. It is Cisco priority, and link aggregation protocol, which as IEEE 802.3 AD. So it means we have two protocol. One is PAC, one is LAC, link aggregation protocol. These two protocol will become ensure that both sides have the capability for configuration. It means about same speed, duplex setting, VLAN information, and etc. Okay, let's start from the PAC protocol. Port aggregation protocol, as I told you, is the Cisco priority. It's using for managing the link consistently configuration, manage link additional failure between two switch, and also it will have the port. It will become ensured that the Ethernet channel is created and all ports using the same type of configuration. PAC will be using these three type of protocol, uh, three type of mode. On mode, in on mode, that's one site will be forced the interface to become the PAC without sending any PAC package. It just forcing the other side to become in Ethernet channel. In desirable world, it will initiate negotiation by sending the PAC package to other sites. Automatic, if the mode be automatic auto, the auto will be just receiving the pack, but not initiate the negotiation with the pack message. It's just receiving the pack. Okay, now we are going to see which type one side should be on, one side be desirable, one side be auto, in how to configure to it should be capable to run the Ethernet channel. So here is a chart of that. One switch, if one switch be switch 1, switch 2. One switch we configure it as a pack on, and switch 2 will be on. Ethernet channel will be successfully initiated. So if the switch 1 be O2 or desirable, the switch 2 be desirable, Ethernet channel will be successfully configured. If switch 1 be O2 on or two desirable, one of them, and another switch is not configured anything, Ethernet channel will not establish. On with desirable will not establish, or two on with auto will not establishing Ethernet channel. Just 2 point we have. The switch, both switch should be configured as a on, or both switch, one side of switch should be desirable, another side of the switch should be configured desirable or auto. It will be initiating or it will be running the Ethernet channel successfully. You can memorizing it very easily. That the one side of the switch, if one side of the switch should be desirable, the another side should be desirable or auto. If one side of a switch should be on, another side of the switch should be on. This is you can memorize it so easily. Okay, let's start about the link aggregation protocol. Link aggregation is protocol is same to PAC, but this is the IEEE 802.AD standard, so it's working same like PAC protocol. So the Cisco device can support both of them, PAC and LAC. So we can use the following mode: on mode, active mode, passive mode. In on mode is same the on mode of PAC, like it forces the interface to become the channel, And the active mode is initiating with the other interface by sending the lag package. And the passive interface is like the pass interface just responds the lag package that it's received but not initiated the negotiation. It means on active passive is in a link aggregation protocol, and undesirable O2 is in a pack protocol. So the configuration, this is also same, like one switch should be on, another side if configure mode as a on, and Ethernet channel will be established. One side should be active, other side should be active or passive. It will initiate the Ethernet channel. Let's start about the configuration of Ethernet. For configuration, I'm using packet tracer to configure the Ethernet channel. So let me select the switch, one switch, two. Okay, so I'm selecting the auto port here. Fast Ethernet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's enough. Let it become on. So going for the configuration of it, enable config terminal interface fast Ethernet 0, 1 up to 6. So it should be like this. Interface range fast Ethernet 0, 1 up to 6. Channel group. Look at here, up to 6 channel we can create at one switch. Now we can select its first channel. Channel group 1 mode. What should be the mode? If using active, auto, desirable, on, passive. So we will select as a on. Look, this has been created interface. Okay, let configure other side as well. Enable connector interface range plus 0, 1 up to 6. Channel group 1 mode. What should be the mode? Mode should be on. Yes, it has configured. So let's go inside of the interface. Okay, let's go the interface of port channel. Interface port channel. We can exit from this mode. Interface port channel 1. In the port channel you can configure the VLAN. So switch port mode trunk, it should be trunk. So switch port mode trunk native VLAN, we will select VLAN 1. Yes, this default. Do WR exiting. Same thing, we will go to do this from switch A. Interface port channel 1, switch port mode is trunk, switch port trunk native VLAN 1. You can select your different VLAN in here. Okay, this Ethernet channel has been configured. Let's show the show the verifying the configuration. Okay, let's using show command to verify the configuration. Show Ethernet channel. You can do the port channel. You can just let's check the summary. Summary is showing the first this channel, this fast Ethernet 1, 2, 3, and all of these ports is configured as a port channel 1. In here more information will be showing to you those. Sorry, Okay, let's use another show running config beginning interface. If you want to see the which port is configured as a Ethernet channel, show running config begin interface. Yes, interface fast Ethernet switch port trying. Channel group 1 mode on 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. Oh, sorry. 6. Look at the 7 is not configured. Up to 6 this port is trying. Channel group is 1 like this is showing this it's already verified for you. If you want to check just one port also you can do it. Show interface switch port fast 0 1. Sorry. Show interface fast switch port fast net 0 1 switch port. Yes, it's showing the file name fast Ethernet 1 enabling administrator is trying. It's using that one queue for trunking and also default VLAN 1 administratively like this is showing all information regarding one interface. Thank you so much. This was about Ethernet channel. Like if sometime you face it with any kind of issue, you need just the most cause of issue will be in the mode of Ethernet channel. When you choosing the mode of Ethernet channel, be careful when you're going to, if you face it with an issue, you can troubleshooting with a mode of Ethernet channel. Okay, thank you so much. Let's start about the HSRP. Okay, let's start the FHSRP, first hop redundancy protocol. So the concept of FHSRP, what is the concept of HSRP? Let me explain to you. Assume we have multiple router. It means we have two router, and we have here one switch. Assume we have a switch here. So we have the end user here. So collecting the sorry, collecting multiple router as a single gateway for the end user is called the FHSRP. So for multiple router as a one gateway in a subnet mark. Uh, we will use multiple router for the redundancy. For if one is failed, it should be routed the packet uh, from another router. So for this, multiple router will be selected one a virtual IP address like this. If this is 255 will be the virtual IP address, router one will have 111.10.111.1. The end user gateway will be selected 10.1.1 to 255, sorry, 255, not 230, like this as a default gateway, this one virtual IP address. So it's using for redundancy gateway of the end user. That's the concept of FHSRP. So we'll study more about how they will select it. One is standby active, standby router, and another is active router. How they will configuring, what's the type of FHSRP we'll study today. FHSRP have three types: HSRP, hot standby redundancy protocol. It's a Cisco priority of HSRP designed and also is working like standby router will be monitor the active router or a grouped operation when the active router failed and the standby be active become active on time. So VVRP, Virtual Router Redundancy Protocol, it's working same like HSRP, but it's dynamically assigned responsibility for one or more virtual router, and the operation is like HSRP. GLBP GLBP Gateway Load Balancing Protocol is Cisco priority of HSRP. It's just different is the operation is like HSRP, but the different is it's using for load balancing or load sharing as well. Assume we have in here in scenario that I had explained it to you, we have active router, we have standby router. uh, when standby router will not be using while the active is in use, but in GLBP we'll be using both of them. It's using load balancing. If load is for A is become a lot, it's using from standby router as well at the same time. Okay, let's go deeper definition and operation about the HSRP. HSRP hot standby redundancy protocol. It use one active router, one is active router, and the one or more will be standby router. uh, is selected one active router that will be a default gateway for another device on the subnet, and also more one or more router will on the same subnet will be as a standby router. Okay, HSRP active router implement one virtual IP address that matches the virtual MAC address. How they selected? The virtual IP address is the same subnet of IP which is configured in router in active router and standby router, but it's different. But in the same subnet, it's in the same subnet. It's selecting from same subnet. So when they selected the virtual IP address, the router will automatically create a virtual MAC address. All other devices on the same subnet will know this virtual IP address, but just one active router will be used this virtual IP address. At the same time of operation, HSRP will be sending the package. It means negotiating the package to become ever when active router become failed, the standby router become inactive router instead of active router work. If in case when the router become failed, the failed router, the standby router will be automatically get the virtual IP address and a MAC address, and it's used as a default gateway of LAN for the end device. And also the standby router will be sent one ARP aggregation with a switch which the end device is connected to them to route all of end device to this router. One question is coming in our mind. So, can HSRP work as a load balancing uh, it's you or load balancing? If we use one router as our default gateway, another router will be free. It will wasting one capacity. The question is yes, we can use it. Like if we have two VLAN 20, VLAN 10. So VLAN 20 first it should work with this one. VLAN 10 gateway should be work with this one. Yes, it's possible that we can use a load balancing in HSRP. We'll configure that. HSRP have a version 1 and version 2. The default Cisco OS is using default is version 1, but we have version 2 as well. The difference between version 1 and version 2 is this one. Version 1 will be using from 0 up to 221 group, and the version 2 will be used from 0 up to 1495. So the version 1 don't have any authentication, version 2 have MD5 authentication, the multicast address, and also version 2 using IP version 6, version 1 don't using this. This is a virtual MAC address. that they are using the range of virtual MAC address. From this range up to this range, they will choosing this virtual MAC. Okay, how they will select the active router and standby router. So the highest IP version 4 will be selected as an active router. Example, this have the highest IP. This router will become as a active router. This router will become as a mm, standby router. If we want to change this router should be standby, this router should be active router, and this router should be standby router. Then we can use the priority. The default priority for both of them is 100. We can change the priority. I will configure for you. So the default priority is 100. We can increase it up to 110. The highest priority will be selected as a active router. Okay, let's start the configuration. I will configure this router. Sorry, control Z. I will selecting the default link. Yes. So I'm going to select this router as an active router, and this router should be as a standby router. So let me configure it. Enable conf terminal interface gig 00 IP address 10.1.1.2. So the subnet 1.255.255.0.0. No shutdown. Yes, it should be no shutdown. Then standby. I should select the standby group 1, group number 1. So now the IP address, I will select it one IP address. I'm choosing one IP address, 10.0. Sorry, the IP address should be the same IP address that I have in same subnet mask. 1 yes, it's 2. Then I am selecting 230. 230, yes, 255.255.0.0. Yes, it don't require the subnet mask. So I have done it. So I'm changing the priority of standby. Priority standby. I'm coming in to show priority. Yes, from priority, the default priority is 100. I will select this is a 200. Yes, 2WR exit. Now let's configure the next router. Next router should be the same subnet mask. Conf terminal interface gig 00 IP address 10.1.1 255.255.0.0. No shutdown. This standby group 1. So this IP address should be the same IP address which I have mentioned it in router A. So 10.1.1.230. Yes, 2WR. Okay. Okay, it was the configure of HSRP. Let's verifying it. Coming to group A. Show standby the brief. We can check briefly, or just show standby. We can check all information about this router. Show standby. Yes, this router is the active state, and this is the virtual IP address. This is the virtual MAC address. In each 3 seconds they will exchanging the package between each other. So this is the local subnet mask. So all of this we can use this we can use this virtual IP address as a gateway of our end device. So let's check this one. Show standby. Yes, this is the state is standby. The router A, the state was active. So the all other is the same thing without the IP address is this. So it was the configuration of the HSRP. So let's configure the load balancing of HSRP as well. Load, for load balancing also is the same configuration is the same. Just you will configure it for one VLAN 1 this router should be active, and for this VLAN B this router should be as an active router. Okay, thank you so much. Kindly subscribe the YouTube channel. If you have any idea, mention in a comment, and if you have any question also you can mention in comment. I will upload the material in the description. You can download, read deeply. Okay, thank you so much.